Hello. I was standing in front of my bookcase, which I do almost every day, and I thought it might be nice to show you my favorite botanical books from my collection and show you what I find inspirational, and maybe some of them will inspire you as well. So let's get started. So I'm going to go from biggest to smallest book. This book contains about, it's a very large, thick book, contains about, it's called Plant, Exploring the Botanical World, and it contains about 300 examples of botanical artists from all around the world. And yes, well, I'll just flip through it a bit, and this one actually I'm going to show a book that I have in my pile, Pierre-Joseph Réauté, and they are examples of plants from all around the world and also artists all around the world, and different kinds of artists. For instance, this is a sea print, but also this is one that's watercolor pencil and ink on paper. So you can see different kinds of mediums used, which is very inspiring, I think, and also various types of details. For instance, this one is much more of a flatter representation, I think, much less dimensional than some of the others, but beautiful in its own way, which I think is very inspirational as well. It doesn't have to be like really realistic all the time. For instance, this one is also very beautiful. Look at the brush strokes and the texture it gives. I find this a very inspirational book. Photographs, these are watercolors, but very, very detailed. So I'm guessing, well, and then you think they're probably made pretty large, but then it says 20 by 13 centimeters, which is fairly small actually. So someone must have done this with a very, very tiny brush. And yeah, this is just whenever I feel like I need some inspiration, because I always draw flowers, and yeah, if I look through this book, it always shows me that you can also do like parts of the plant. This is I think it's a colored scanning electron micrograph. I'm not sure, but it's like a very detailed, almost like a microscopic image of a plant. So you can do so many parts. You can draw and paint so many parts of a plant, and this shows the complete variety of that, and that's something I really love. But also these kinds of paintings, which are so delicate and elegant. It's just a beautiful book. Endless inspiration. Mary Sibylla Merian, who's one of my favorite artists because she shows the complete cycle of life. Yes, and also the colors are so gorgeous. I always find inspiration here, and inspiration for new plants. For instance, this is called a bat plant. Have you ever heard of a bat plant? Well, I didn't until I had this book. Yes, gorgeous book. Highly recommend it. The second book I have is The Golden Age of Botanical Art, and it's been published in association with Kew Botanical Royal Botanic Garden. And well, even the end papers are beautiful in this book. It's so elegant. The colors are beautiful. It shows, I mean, like having, I want this on my wall. Having like a small detailed cutout of something is so pretty. So this shows, this book, that's what it says here. This book traces the development of botanical art and illustration from the earliest times until the present day, particularly through the book collections in the library and the art collection of the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew. As you can see, there are many watercolor and pen drawings which you can learn from a lot. Like this cross hatching is beautiful here. Let's see. More pen drawings, which I always tend to use color, but whenever I see these kinds of artworks, I always think, why am I not using just my pen? Because that makes for such beautiful drawings. Look at all the beautiful values you can get with only one art material. This one as well is so elegant. Different ways of composition. It's an absolute gorgeous book. And it highlights different artists, but also different regions. For instance, it says here the company school in India, and here it says early Chinese plant drawing, so they've categorized it a bit. Yes, it's an absolute gorgeous book, and I think especially the elegance that comes from these paintings and drawings is what inspires me most. The third book is Ernst Haeckel, Art Forms in Nature. Ernst Haeckel, if I pronounce his name correctly, was a zoologist and philosopher and artist who promoted the work and theory of Darwin in Germany, and he also had like a theory himself, like an evolutionary theory that whenever something was in its embryo stage, then it would go through different stages, like a fish stadium and a reptile stadium, or some sort of stage. I don't know what his theory exactly was, but he created beautiful artworks, and they are really inspiring because they aren't completely accurate, and that's what makes them really interesting, I think. So they are art forms like nature, for instance these jellyfish, but I think like he exaggerated lots of things, and at least I believe this is like a sort of leaf shape, and there's so many tentacles. I can't imagine, well, maybe there is a creature that looks like this, but still I feel like it's a bit stylized and yeah, exaggerated. So and so much detail is in there. Yeah, he especially made like these plates that show collections of things and creatures and plants that are very detailed, so it's very good to study like textures. The colors are very beautiful as well. which are also not completely true to nature, I think. For instance, this could never be, I think, like a jellyfish that has, or yeah, it says Blumenquallen, so it must be like, it's called like a flower jellyfish, but it would never have like two of these long, or at least I think so. And it would never, if it would float like this in the, if it would exist, which it may, but if it would exist, then it would never float like this. He makes like a beautiful composition of them. Anemones. I once bought one of these. I actually have two books, but you can find these books, especially the Ernst Haeckel ones. I don't think the Kew Garden one that I showed you can be found easily in secondhand shops, but these ones can sometimes be found in secondhand shops, and you can buy them for like, I bought one for €2, and then I wallpapered my bathroom with it, which was a very, very nice effect. And I'm sad that I never took a picture of it because I moved, and now someone else has my bathroom, my Ernst Haeckel bathroom. Yes. So it's the shapes and the textures I'm interested in this book, and also a bit of the colors, because they're, well, they're gorgeous. I can show some of them up close. Let's see, one of them with nice texture. Doesn't really matter actually, all of them are beautiful, but look, this is incredible, right? He must have had hours and hours and hours and lots of patience. Beautiful book. The fourth book is The Complete Language of Flowers, a definitive and illustrated history. And this is a lovely book because it shows, apart from very beautiful images, it shows, it has like how to use this book, intro. So they're listed alphabetically, the flowers by their scientific names, and then you have the common name of the plant. So for instance, this is called Gamassia, or Indian hyacinth, and then it shows you the symbolic meanings. Apparently that's play in this case, and the folklore and facts are it takes several years for Gamassia bulb to fully mature. And it says, well, you can go through in the back, you can look up anything you want. You could look up, for instance, viola. It would say viola somewhere here, and it says here symbolic meanings: affection, artistic ability, faithfulness, fidelity, honesty, loyalty, modesty, simplicity, think of me, thoughts, thoughtful recollection, virtue, possible powers, calms tempers, divination, induces sleep, love, psychic sensitivity. So you could use this book to give your art some meaning, and that's what I really like about it. So you could look up specific flowers that you want to draw, or if you want to, if you have a topic you want to draw, you could look up different flowers and think, okay, if I want to draw, for instance, well, apparently the date palm signifies victory. So if you would create an artwork that has the theme victory in it, then a date palm would be nice to add. And that's what I like about it. For instance, something we do, most of us know, is that the olive tree has a symbolic meaning of peace. So you could use that to empower your artwork, which is a lovely thing, I think. And then this one is May Morris. She is, or was, the youngest daughter of William Morris. And, well, a lot can be said about William Morris. He made beautiful work, but I also like her. She was mostly, she did a lot of painting as well, so she was a very accomplished sketcher, painter. She could paint basically anything, but as you can see, she was highly influenced by her father, probably, and she designed wallpapers for him, I think. But it's so elegant, and then she created, and there's a whole section about it, she created, like, this is a bed cover. Well, who wouldn't want to have this bed cover? It's the most gorgeous, detailed, intricately embroidered item with beautiful colors, and so there are many, like, there are sketches in here, but there are many embroidery examples in here. I don't know, I maybe I even prefer her work to William Morris because it's more intricate or something. This is also a very nice, beautiful page where it shows, like, the sketch, or the sketch they used, a pattern for tracing, and then this is where they started it and didn't finish. It's gorgeous. It's such a great book, and it gives me so much color inspiration, but also composition inspiration. Like these little pouches. Who wouldn't want to have this? It's called a book bag. I mean, I love books, and then you would have like this bag to keep your favorite book in, to read, and to like sit on a train, and yeah, and take it with you. Another book bag. We need more book bags, I think, in our lives. Dresses, costumes, jewelry as well, which is also very inspiring, I think. Yes, so beautiful, beautiful work, beautiful book. Then I have this book, the Book of Flowers. It holds work by Pierre-Joseph Redouté. It says on the side, one of the most gifted botanical artists in history, according to Victoria magazine. And it has floral masterpieces, and I think they're right, this is him, because the work is so exquisite. It's like, how can you have the patience to create so many beautiful artworks like this one, like the elegance, but also the, like, all of the little lines. You can't see it probably on the video, but it has so many tiny lines, and probably this was made much larger than it is printed now, but the softness of the colors and the way he shows the plants is also very nice, because he shows all parts of the plants, so you can see the back of the leaf, where you can see all the veins, and you can see the front, and you can see little buds, and it just opening and completely flowering, facing you, so you can basically know almost everything about the plant by one beautiful artwork. Roses, very elegant as well. I think these are all watercolors. Yes, lots of roses, peonies. It's just a gorgeous book, and it'll give you inspiration on how to display your flower or plant in a very elegant way. There are never like straight lines, there are always like curved lines in his work. It's always like the stems are always curved, sorry. Yes, very beautiful. Giving it more like a dynamic. Even this one, which is the way it's growing, is straight upright, but he chooses to make this one slightly curved and then this one growing just in the other direction, and then making the small leaf in the other direction, so it's more dynamic, less static, which of course all plants are, right? Nothing is completely rigid, but he does that beautifully. It's a beautiful book. And lastly, Wildflowers of Britain, Month by Month by Margaret Erskine Wilson. And you can, well, the title says it all actually. Every month there are seasonal flowers to see. And I like it because of its pocket size, because you can take it with you for inspiration, but also I like the busyness that they're all together. It's almost like they're the start of a wallpaper or something. And if you would take this as inspiration, the images are so small that you have to make up your own details if you would use them as a reference, which is also good. If you would use a reference and it was from a very large book where all the details are shown, then you are mostly inclined to copy that, and that's just, well, I like to make my own artwork and my own interpretation of things, so it's good to have things around you that inspire you, but I never copy them. I always take just small things out of it and then use it for my own artworks. And these are just beautiful, probably with pencil and watercolor. Just going through the, like, this poppy is beautiful. August. September. October, and you see the colors change as well. And even December is featured, which shows you that although it's on the northern hemisphere where I live in the Netherlands, and in Britain where Margaret Wilson is from, there aren't many green things out there because many things lose their leaves and they have like a winter sleep. But there are still things out there that are very interesting to draw and very beautiful. So it's a good reminder that you can find botanical subjects every month of the year. So yes, these are my beautiful books. I hope you liked them, and I hope it gave you some inspiration to find some books yourself. You can mostly find these things in your local library, by the way, so you don't have to buy them if you don't want to. I find interesting books in secondhand shops all the time. It's the best, and I swap books as well, so you can find them almost anywhere if you just know where to look and where to go. And sometimes if you just want to splurge, or you really, really love a book, for instance, I really loved this book for May Moores. I got it from the library, and then because it was so beautiful and I wanted it to have to be in my bookcase so I could just pick it up any time I wanted, and then I bought it, gave myself a little gift for my birthday. So yeah, I hope this inspired you, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks. Bye.